Hello, my name is Ghost, I'm your host, and I hate to tell you, but I've been working on my new album, titled The Last Adventure of John Turkey. This is my 43rd studio album, and I'm really proud of how it's been coming out, but unfortunately I damn near forgot to talk to you guys, my true big fans. I'm very sorry. So, to make up for it, I'm going to talk about The Untold Story, a movie about a guy that kills an entire family. The Untold Story is a Hong Kong film directed by Herman Yao, and it came out in 1993. The film actually won the actor of the serial killer, Anthony Wong Chow Song, sorry if I didn't pronounce that particularly well, a Best Actor award, which is just kind of goes to show how much more accepting other countries are of kind of taboo subjects than America is. Because, like the Oscars sees this type of thing, and, they're artists, and they know that art can't contain such vile, graphic, slimy, grimy violence. Hong Kong seems to understand that it doesn't really matter. The Untold Story is based off of the real case of the 8 Immortals murder. The 8 Immortals restaurant murder was committed by a guy named... Basically, after he killed a guy that owed him some money in his hometown, he fled to Macau, where he got to know a family that was running the 8 Immortals Chinese food restaurant. This was the Zheng family. Sorry, again. But, basically, he grew quite close to these people, and he was known to associate with them, and eventually he ended up having the really fun interaction of, you owe me money, and he's like, okay, I'll give you my restaurant and stuff, and if I can't pay back my debts within a year, and, that time comes, and he's like, still can't pay you back, so our evil individual decides, damn, I guess I gotta teach you a lesson, and kills the family of 10 people. And needless to say, this mass killing was quite vicious. It involved a broken bottle, it was super horrible, he chopped up all the bodies, very dark, and not a particularly pleasant topic. Well, The Untold Story is based very strongly off of this case, actually, from, it goes all the way down to some of the details of the broken bottle being used in the family killings. The Untold Story takes a really darkly comedic approach to this actual horrible tragedy, which is just really fucking ballsy compared to a lot of movies that wouldn't dare. Herman Yao just went like, yeah, no, we're gonna make it funny. And that's really wild to me, but very respectable, and its humor genuinely works for the most part. Like, I actually found myself laughing throughout the duration of this movie, something that I don't usually do at any pure comedy films, let alone horror comedy or true crime type things. And the argument could be made that it's disrespectful to the actual victims, but I don't really think so. It's not necessarily being exploitative of their case in my head, more so just trying to create an interesting film on the topic. The movie educated me on the case fairly well, though of course it did take several creative liberties to tell its story, changing up names, just a lot of weird little things. It also leaned into the urban legend attached with the case that the family was cooked into pork dumplings. That's what happens in the film. He cooks some victims into dumplings and feeds them to the police officers, actually, along with many other customers. The Untold Story is what is a Category 3 film in Hong Kong. Category 3 is basically the kind of 18 plus don't watch in Hong Kong, and it's well known for just being really unhinged and wild. It's unhinged whilst remaining fun, which is something that a lot of extreme cinema isn't. With a lot of extreme cinema, you're just watching some grimy, repetitive, oh, kill this guy, kill that guy, kill this guy, kill that guy, with no actual importance or message behind it. Well, I can't say that this is important or has a big message behind it. Its goal is just to be really fun and entertaining. It's simultaneously a goofy cop drama and a serial killer true crime horror flick, and it's a lot of fun, especially when, towards the end of the movie, or towards what you think should be the end of the movie, where they actually catch him and arrest him. It goes on for 40 more minutes of basically just these cops viciously torturing him into giving a confession, and it's wild and fun, and Heart Killer's actually intelligent for once. And it also had some really gnarly scenes, too. While I can't say it measures up to a lot of other movies that are in the extreme cinema genre as far as how vicious and violent it was, the chopstick scene with a female was certainly quite the scene, along with, him cutting his wrist open on like a fucking trowel or whatever it was, and biting the artery. It's a pretty vicious and fucked up movie, injecting, like, water into his blood so it gets all, like, festery and stuff, keeping him from sleeping for days on end. It's a dark movie, and it's a really, really interesting piece of cinema. There's actually 3 films in the series. No one really knows about the other 2, like, I've never heard anyone talk about it, and so I'm gonna keep my focus on the original film in the series, but I just thought it would be worth mentioning that there are, in fact, 2 other films, neither of which directed by Herman Yao. There's also this really peculiar side plot with the kind of cop goofy shenanigans going on, where the female cop just really wants to be, like, make the guys horny for some reason, and it goes away, like, halfway into the movie, and it's really weird and kind of funny. All the cop stuff is really just, like, amusing and tasteless. The entire movie's tasteless, but in a good way. That's the thing with a lot of this type of extreme cinema. I feel like a lot of people instantly are like, oh, it's so tasteless and mean and gross, but honestly, I kind of like that type of thing. These tasteless, gutter filth, stylish, weird-ass movies like this, or Ichi the Killer, all these movies, they're just interesting, and that's one of the things I like. Yeah, it's like this weird sewer slop type thing half the time, but it's a lot of fun exploring the scene and immersing yourself, because there's a lot of things that'll surprise you about it. The Untold Story is kind of an essential of the scene to me for being one of the only extreme horror comedies, or extreme comedies in general, maybe some of the only others being like fucking, I don't know, Man Bites Dog, which isn't a horror, but it's technically an extreme comedy, or there's very few, is my point. Very few films that go into this territory and try and remain amusing, which is one of the things that makes the Untold Story so special. I feel like a lot of people nowadays in the scene, all they want is, oh, more extreme, more extreme, more extreme. And while I do enjoy the really, really wildly extreme stuff, I feel like it's worth checking out some of these other movies too, just because I feel like the scene shouldn't be just about, oh, what's most extreme. I think it should eventually be, hey, what actually interests me as a person? To me, a lot of this weird, kind of bizarre, extreme Asian horror really gets me excited and happy. I've had a pretty good track record with it. Even the straight-up terrible movies like Mei Chan's Daily Life, I still had fun with. So that's usually what I enjoy watching. I will briefly talk about the most famous scene in the film, which is the murder of the family. The murder of the family scene is a relentless and shocking scene, as you get to see, a fucking kid get decapitated, people beaten, killed, killed with stabbing and stuff. It's a pretty vicious scene, and it's definitely that scene in the movie. It's the one that when you hear the Untold Story, and you think of a scene, it's that scene. It's pretty wild and unhinged, and it's executed well, even though I don't understand why he wouldn't kill the kids first if the point is to get back at the parents, Like, the Untold Story is definitely an interesting piece of, You're kind of cramping my vibe here, man. What are you...
I'm kidnapping you.
No.
Yeah.
I'm doing a thing here, man.
What are you doing?
Talking about the Untold story.
Oh, I know that movie.
Oh, you want to talk about it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sure. Here, let me tag you in, man. Come on.
So, The Untold Story is a movie I actually had a lot more fun with and enjoyed more than I thought I was going to going into the movie. It's a movie that somehow balances the chaoticness of, a case where a guy murdered 10 people over money, to, silly cop shenanigans. It's a really fun and interesting movie, and I have seen a lot of disturbing movies, and most of them aren't amazing. And it's nice to have something like this for a change. Growing up on the south side of Manhattan, I used to watch, very, very weird and disturbing movies. And they were always bad, but then I saw The Untold Story and it made me want to become a serial killer.
This was your inspiration?
Yeah.
Suppose I'll wrap it up. I don't want to keep my guest waiting, but The Untold Story is a really interesting piece of extreme cinema, as I've made very clear. And one that's kind of special to me. There are very few times where I get to watch these movies with someone and have them not just complain to me for the next 3 hours following it. But everyone that I watched this with just had a boatload of fun, and I'm really glad that I can have that memory. The Untold Story is a movie I'm certainly going to revisit, and I'm certainly going to go through the rest of Herman Yau's catalog as my life goes on, and I honestly can't help but recommend it. If you aren't terribly sensitive, it's not only a good entry-level film to get into the extreme cinema scene, but one that's just a lot of fun. Well, I guess I have to go now. Can I have a wardrobe change? Because I've been recording my album for like 30 days straight.
What's your name?
My name's Ghost.
Hi, I'm Jeffrey. I have two little friends, and they're gonna torture you.
Oh, so you're not going to torture me?
No.
Your friends are.
I kind of have a thing for like the kidnapping.
Okay.
They have a thing for the torture.
Can I bring my phone?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, if you can just call me. Okay, bye.
See you guys.